Hello, everyone. We start our AI panel. So I provide the word to Vadim Epstein. Welcome, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad to welcome you on this session about AI ML visuals on how to touch learning platform. The first one in this kind of new yet 2025 year. Those who followed us for a while should already know our main course in this field of knowledge. It lasts for 2 months, and a new group will start in a week, by the way. So the enrollment is still open. Just check the website if you're interested. I will speak about it in more details in a minute. But let's get first to the program of this session. While that main course is still valid and actual as a general base or common ground for any further explorations in the visual AI ML area, we obviously try hard to expand our offers to more specific and practical topics from one course to the area of activity. So there are 3 more speakers on this session, elaborating one of the hottest theme, that is real-time AI ML systems. 2 of them are presenting their own workshops, which are to be announced shortly, so bear with us. First, Simone will present various use cases of tracking methods in real-time settings. It may look a bit or sound a bit generic, but such low-level multi-purpose technologies are obviously the core ground for anything more creative on top of these basic technologies. Second, Alex will talk about his developments and achievements in real-time generative AI from StreamDiffusion and further. I'm especially proud, by the way, of the fact that Alex had graduated from that main course, which I mentioned already. It was about a year ago. And we had many discussions with him, how could he contribute back. So this is the first, but obviously not the last one, his piece of practical knowledge, which he is willing to share with us. Needless to say, there are numerous scenarios of usage for these technologies, from VJing and live performances to interactive installations to, okay, you name it. The diversity of AI ML techniques and their wide use in various applications is the subject of our last, but not least, speaker, Tymm, who will demonstrate an integral approach of combining various AI stuff with other multimedia methods which we have out there for years or maybe for decades, like joining lasers and stable diffusion for one, etc. But now getting back to my part, and those announced speakers will talk later. That main course, it lasts for 2 months, as I mentioned. It starts from the very basic things like core theory of what neural networks are, how they operate, why do they operate that nice, etc. And as far as we are speaking about visuals in AIML, obviously all those topics will be illustrated with generating or processing visuals. So starting from the basic things like, for instance, single neurons. This video is visualizing of a neuron from CLIP model, which is nowadays used mostly as a kind of text to image or image to text, not direct generator from text to image or from image to text, but to generate some like internal embeddings, internal understanding what's in the text or what's in the image. And this is the technique of the very early visualization, what those virtual internal embeddings deep into in the neural networks are. Or a bit more complex, just a bit more like it's nothing comparable to the current advances, but anyway, this is visualization of some like phrase, in this case like self-generated crypto art, which was in fact generated as a code, not as a video, and minted into as NFT onto the blockchain. So it was the piece which the whole title of it, like self-generated crypto art, was also the meaning and the core sense of that, some kind of ultra tautology. Then obviously the later advances, which are now like kind of ancient already, convolutional neural networks, think mostly GAN, generative adversarial networks, which were the most advanced things only like 3 years ago yet. And they are still in the game. You can get really detailed and well like polished, not like this one, of course, imagery, and they are in heavy use still in the low-level practical things like tracking, like upscaling, etc. But also it's possible to use it for generative stuff, to make visuals or to process visuals like this. Here is like 3, I think, various methods combined into one. So this is just a like nice imagery to illustrate it. Yeah, that's another one of that case. And then further, we'll deal with custom generative methods that were explored and invented in a mass before Stable Diffusion and before diffusion-based methods and generators arrived. So it already provided quite a decent level of freedom in terms of like generating visuals from some textual descriptions. But you can see, of course, it's nothing still comparing to the current advance. Yet some pretty, on my taste, impressive or at least nice artworks could be made with those custom methods as well. And obviously the current state-of-art methods like Flux for generating images, for AnimateDiff or other open source methods or current commercial services for generating videos. Of course, we will talk mostly about open source and freely available methods in our course, because like commercial services, first they need money, greedy bastards, and second, there's not a lot of like hidden knowledge which you can get to get into that, and open source is obviously way more interesting area to dig into. So these were, in fact, some demos from the main body of the course, which existed, which was taught already into groups a year ago, and this will be as well in the new group which starts in a week. But of course, we are trying to develop and our topics, to add topics which evolve with time, and one of examples of such boiling hot topics amongst all the AI communities worldwide is the agent. It's just one of the examples. So what the agent is? Agent is in fact some kind of pre-programmed or pre-trained, or both in fact, entity which can perform not just one task, but a whole spectrum of the tasks. This is example again is a chatbot, think ChatGPT, with its both large language models under the hood, obviously, and also some visual generated stuff like DALL-E 3 for ChatGPT, etc. So and there are some services both paid and with open source, which you can download and run it on your own hardware, on your own supply. Just an example of one of such platforms, Eden, which is made by my friends and colleagues. Like one is Gene Kagan, one of the main AI visionaries in the world for pretty a while already, and so it's also it's a kind of like paid platform where you can, for instance, like pay for some credits to run it on their hardware, but it's also on open source, so nothing stops you from just downloading the code base and run it locally. That's why I'm talking about that. And here's there is an option which they added recently, like create your own agent. So I'm just briefly, within 1 or 2 minutes, show what is it about. So if I go to like create your own agent, come on, internet, be fast, please. Yeah. So like I name my agent somehow, I don't know, gross. Upload some agent image because they need some icon and description. And for description, I took like AI agent, trying hard to be helpful but suspicious about the human future and therefore quite misanthropic. It loves to draw melancholy imagery depicting possible scenarios of human civilization decay. So it needs also more elaborated instructions how to behave, what to do. In fact, copying the same description would work, but I just made it more detailed, asking a Claude Sonnet model to make some more detailed description. So I'm copying it as an instruction here. And okay, I don't have any LoRa. That means some fine-tuned, some specific up-trained model. That's okay for now. Just creating it with textual description. And as soon as it's created, we can start using it. I hope it will be fast enough. Yeah, here it is. So here it is, gross AI agent. So, okay, I can check for list of tools which it has under the hood. I can ask it, who are you? Okay, here's the list of available tools. I didn't go that deep, but you could obviously, as an agent author, you could select what exact tools your users, your customers or clients can have access to, like for instance, to generate some music or audio, to maybe do web search to be able to access external internet, etc. So, okay, who are you? Blah, 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 skeptical view of humanity's trajectory. While I'm here to assist, I can't help but notice the patterns of decay and entropy in human civilization. This is basically rewriting and repeating the instructions which I gave him onto his birth. So draw something which is on the mind. And it should result in some imagery. Yeah, I'll create an image that reflects my preoccupation with humanity, transient nature. So nice and so sad. But as far as it has also access to web search, as you saw, or to like music or sounds generation, might ask about some like song, or to know something which is currently happening. But for now, it's enough just to demonstrate, to illustrate what does it do. So if you click on this image, yeah, we see some data center with all the vines around, which is preoccupied or post-occupied by nature. So, okay, this was a quick illustration what agents are, and the agents are a quick illustration, in fact, of the further developments in the area, of where do we go, and what are the topics and interesting stuff can appear in both in our main course and as specific practical workshops. If you are not interested that much in getting the whole few months theory about, but only need some practical stuff to make things with. So, okay, I think that's enough for my part. I will be glad to welcome you on to onboard you on that main Flagman AI ML in Visuals course. But for now, I transfer the stage to the next speaker.
I am Simone Franco. I learned a lot by doing the AutoTouch course, and I'm glad Stanislav invited me to showcase what I recently did about tracking in Touch Designer. You maybe know me as Enroll Studio. I try to do to share knowledge for free, because what I learned I actually pay the course of Stanislav, of course, but my scenario was I learn a lot from the community, and I want to give back something about giving this free knowledge. So thank you for having me here. This is the project I will shortly describe. So if you don't know, YOLO is actually an AI which is empowered with computer vision. So the task is to see something, okay? So this is the main component. We will go inside of the network in a second, but I just want to see if it works, and it works, okay, we all happy? So this is the actually pose estimation. We are using the nano model right now because I am streaming. I don't want to overdo, but you can see we get back from the model our prediction, which are the key points. Okay, and this is supported by a library called Ultralytics, and I'm using the YOLO 11 here. Okay. Let's go a bit inside of the network and see the structure. So this is actually the structure. I'm using a top array made from Kate Lostraco. So it's a way to catch actually these. So those cable, we can actually say that they are CUDA stream for us in Python. And with this component, you can get them and avoid sampling attaching with the NumPy, which was a mess, okay, due to CPU calculation. So how I like to do things is that I have an extension that I call inside here, because it's already complicated a bit here, the code, and I just want to call something inside. The main things that is happening here, I am getting this guy. Yeah, these two tensor, and I'm sending it to the inference, okay? And then as soon I turn on this, we are actually having a storage, and I'm saving stuff there, okay? Which they can be written in with the custom script chop or top, and we can get the prediction. So if you see here having the point in top directly, yeah, here, okay. So if I move, you see, yeah, the point. And with those, you can visualize it or make your own stuff. This is if we are only not using it in a working environment, you can have fun with it, but to work it to use it in a working environment, you need to contact Ultralytics for a license. So this is not, and yeah, for working purposes, but maybe soon, let's see. So another thing you can do with YOLO is you can have segmentation, okay? This is still a bit no, pardon, oops. Yeah, okay. you can see here we are actually, I'm asking to segment the class number 0, which is a person, but you can also do segmentation, but maybe for segmentation you can see here that we have also it's understanding what's inside of the bounding box. Okay, so, and if I remember good, yeah. Why are we understanding things? Because we have Coco. Coco is a data set with some images, and for example 46 will be banana. Yeah, and we are actually segmented the banana, not me anymore. Okay. Same things. We are using the top array to send the texture, avoiding NumPy, and the prediction is stored in the Python storage for now. Yeah, I am having the shape since I got a bit of problem in getting the pure tensor. So I'm getting the shape and then using a CV2 to make the shape with shape filler. Okay. Let's close. Pardon, let's close this. So, okay. Another things I like is I want also to give a shout to this guy. The name is Daniel Schiffman. Yes, I pronounced it correctly. And this is the guy that in YouTube is making the training, the code training. So I learned a lot there as well. And yeah, we have actually a web browser with I'm using a sketch here, a PJ5 sketch with a library, which is the ML5JS library. And this can actually be used with the IB, cheaper price than YOLO, I'm not sure, in working environment. And I am actually sending the video with a fake camera here with the NDI. So the website is reading the NDI and giving a prediction to WebSocket. So if I press play, this guy is loading, would not start video source. Let me see how, because this is too, pardon, let's try like this. Yeah, okay, give it a second. Okay, so yeah, you see, you're having back the point. Now it's a bit shaky because I'm also streaming and the signal is through NDI, but if you send it directly from the webcam, it's like a sort of media pipe, okay? And it's actually a website. Okay, that's fun. You can see the prediction here. We do have a bit of latency now because I am also streaming, but it's definitely usable. A bit. Okay. Yeah, so for tracking, these are the things I like. And let's actually close this. And another really cool stuff you can do with a webcam is to actually have a monocular depth estimation of your camera. Let me put this to 30. Don't crash. Yes. Okay. So this project is I tried to make it myself, but without TouchPy, I didn't get so much result. So to showcase it here, since we are also talking about open source, I'm using a version made by Oleg Chomp. This is called in GitHub is called like this. So you see, I have and the model inside here is that anything version 2, and he made it in Engine, which allow us to have a prediction about the depth. So you know, if you know what I'm talking about, you have open cloud from a webcam in the time, which is pretty cool. And I mix this with the knowledge I got from AutoTouch. So to create a component, which is actually in my Patreon, so if a bit of self-promoting, I mean self-promoting, it's free, you can get it. This component allows us to send light on this mesh And we have some handles here, which allow us to actually cast light on this point cloud. It is like that we are creating a mesh. That's it for my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Simone, so much. It was really impressive. We are looking forward to having the more detailed, this knowledge more detailed and elaborated as like proper workshop on how to touch platform later on. Stas Glazov, who is also present here on the session, may tell more about specific plans. I don't know yet. Now let's listen to Tymm, who would showcase how in general you could use various methods of both AI ML and just old school, classic, whatever. So Tymm, please go on.
Thank you for having me. I'm gonna introduce one of the concepts that I developed since 2019. I'm gonna share my screen just to show you the reference. That's the AI-based ecosystem. I call it like this. It's architecture, like media architecture, based on AI models that controls visuals. And there is one model that I used, which is kind of like a randomizer. So both models actually developed in a close touch with Hizar Tilmus. It's a friend of mine based in Berlin, really great AI developer. And so yeah, this project happened in Printworks 2021 together with Transmoderna, and there was many artists involved. And yeah, basically this system is real-time. As you see on the video, it's connected to Touch Designer, but it was running on a separate machine just for like computation efficiency. And yeah, so the custom models that we trained on the custom data sets from different artists that was involved, basically like a 3D artist and like some AI artists as well. And at that time, it was really fresh, actually, field, and especially talking about like interfaces and everything was like really custom. And yeah, it wasn't. Right now, it's like way more easier, I think, because I don't know, many like now it's like getting more hype and a lot of developers involved, a big community, and like yeah, it's really strong right now. Back then it was like really kind of more niche, and yeah, so it wasn't like possible just to find one model that you can use in the internet. It was just like this, for example, this both models were specifically designed for this event, and it's all custom. Interface was custom, the models were custom, and the all mechanics was all the custom. So the models were connected to light and with the sound. So the sound was coming from the DJ booth directly and controlling the seeds of the model, like according to different frequencies. And so I could just like play with it. Like I had like my like interface next to me. It's kind of a playing real time with different parameters, but like some of the parameters were developed like in a way that is controlling the seeds and dynamics of like how the seeds was changing. Yeah, so and it was connected through Touch Designer just to display on the screens. It was like a huge screen setup, as you can see. The side screens, like all transparent LED panels. And of course, it was connected to the whole lighting system, the lights through GrandMA. And I got in touch with the setup guys and invited them to join this project. So they were like in charge of designing the control and all the mapping for the lights, the lasers, all these LEDs and moving heads. It was a lot of like actually programming for this, all the aspects of the lightning. I started to develop this concept since 2019, and at the time it was even more niche. And then I thought like, okay, where's all the tendency going with like this AI development? And I thought it was like this kind of architecture was really interesting approach to use kind of the custom tools for real time and like for all artistic kind of like expressions. And then it was supposed to be, so first I designed this because it was, yeah, it was like request from Tate Modern to present something there with like in frame of transmodern vision. And then it's never happened because of the COVID, and everything was postponed and canceled at the end. And then it was a request from Printworks to do a showcase there. And then it was like first time I presented it there, like, and it was like really difficult to implement the both models, but in the end it was working in a kind of like the visual model was working quickly, but the sound model was a bit like tricky, but still was working on the minimum like settings. So yeah, like the most important thing that I learned is like to break this like psychological barrier using those tools, because it's really yeah, it's like not that easy to switch from the tools that you using in your pipeline, because most of the artists, like, I think, just like load it with some stuff that currently happening, and then to learn how to use those things, you still need to put like some time to learn, to have a basic knowledge of coding, just in because it's needed for like implementation of these models. And the most of the models is just like freely, I'm talking about open source models. The most of the models just available for free on the internet through GitHub and Hugging Face. And yeah, it took me some time to really like break this barrier, like psychological barrier, and start using them to learn. And COVID time was like kind of perfect situation somehow. It was like really also difficult, but still perfect to learn those tools and start using them in my practices. So yeah, that would be, I think, one of the important aspects of using artificial intelligence in your artistic pipeline as an expression to learn all these like aspects of like training the custom models and implementation. And yeah, it's all available in YouTube right now. It's just about like really starting using it. And I think I just find it like really playful, and also learning how to optimize your hardware setup in order to use different models, because most of them, especially video models, require very powerful graphic cards. And yeah, I think that would be it. Like, if you have any questions, but like, yeah, that's it.
There is a question in chat. Is the Printworks video you show it available somewhere to rewatch?
Yeah, I think it's available on YouTube. Parts of it. It's not like yeah. It's available on YouTube. You can find it by just typing Printworks London 2001, and also was reused in 2002. So it's both videos, I think, available on YouTube.
Thank you. So I think we are welcoming Alexander Korneev, who is back. And yeah, I provide the word to Alex.
Thank you, guys. Sorry, I fall into like meme situation. My PC just died last night, so I had to rebuild everything from kind of scratch. But anyways, so yeah, in my talk, I would like to share some kind of my findings about using StreamDiffusion into VJ soft like pipeline, because I'm kind of trying to do that for, I think, from the start at like it's just kind of released 1 year and probably half ago. And so I think right now we kind of at the point that we actually at some extent can actually use it, because it went kind of pretty long way from just generating like pretty random images, which is not coherent, not controllable, and pretty jumpy. And if we try to do that at the beginning, so it was kind of really random mess of things. But I think right now, because thanks for the like Lyle.simulate and myself as well. So I also contributed in the StreamDiffusion component for Touch Designer. So I think right now we kind of in the era of beginning to use it. So I would like to share some like three examples of actual use case for StreamDiffusion component. And so you will see kind of what the input, what could be inputted for the ControlNet model and parameters page, and also like the output of it. So, and I will just share my kind of things that how I approach StreamDiffusion projects in my workflow. To start this, I'd like to explain about the project I was working on like recent month, I think. So, and I think it's a kind of ideal use case for StreamDiffusion. So I get the project from an artist, and he wanted some kind of visuals, but his ask was literally like, I would like to my like viewers just literally trip on my performance. So I thought that it's great thing for StreamDiffusion, because like it's pretty random, and you can kind of fluidly go from one image to another. So it's literally the trip. So I try to use that during the performance, and also we work together with my colleagues and friends from Interactive Items. So we kind of shared the two parts of this project. And so I'd like to share how I approached this. So, okay, if you see on the left top is what I'm inputting in the StreamDiffusion. On the top right, it's basically what's getting the ControlNet model, which ControlNet can help you to preserve forms. And so on the left bottom is the output and the parameters page. So you can see that we could pretty easily create the just oceanic view of with some just prompt and some pretty random images. Like we can create some shapes of the ocean, of some corals or something like that. So we can create fluidity with a just shader. And for example, we also getting the kind of God rays, out of nowhere, just because. And also, if you can see, like if you cranking up the steps of the first step, so you basically can pretty much put something into the ocean. So for example, just imagine it could be a logo of for example, anyways, like it could be logo, and if you crank these steps, you can just see the logo in the shape of corals, because the features of that would be passed to the model, basically. So the next one is just for example, IMAX. Okay, so let's share once again. Okay, so for this, you can imagine just pretty obvious IMAX use case. So in that case, for example, we're creating something like Monster Plant. And so we basically taken the input image on the just alpha channel. So just imagine the view from the camera, like close up of the artist. So you can put it into the StreamDiffusion, and you can emphasize the features you want to kind of see also by the control net. So by just shapes, and create this kind of plant, and it's pretty stable. That's what I can say. And so, like, if you lower the steps, you can get more greenery. If you higher the steps, you can get more features from the control net and from the baseline image. So in that case, you can create some kind of balanced image. And also, the thing is, it's pretty fast. The thing is, like, it can work on, I think, 20 FPS in that case. And so also neat thing that I'm using pretty much. So I don't kind of upscale on the same machine. So I upscale on different machine. You can upload this. And basically, this image is 640 by 360. So basically, it's 3 times less than HD. So if you upscale it in real time on the just standard Touch Designer upscaler, you can get HD out of this at 20 FPS. So this is pretty okay for the setup, I think. So you can use that. And the last thing I'd like to share is just, like some random stuff. I mean, not like some abstract designs. Yes. So abstract designs also could be created with StreamDiffusion pretty easily. So in this case, we start with, for example, I think just prompt is about like Japan art, abstract, kind of flowerish, all that stuff. So you see also we can input the kind of shapes. It will pick these shapes and make the flowers out of it. And you can create these close-ups with a bokeh and, like some washed background, and how it can evolve. So, and also you can on top put some shaders, which will create some motions, and you can also use feedback, which I'm used here, and you can smooth out some imperfections like some jittering, and that's, we can just pretty smoothly transition to another effect. And it's also great. So you can create this table of prompts from which you can transition onto. And for example, here, if we crank more steps, we can take more features and it's more kind of graphical look versus, I don't know, versus more brushy look. And also here we just switch to another prompt, and it's different style. And just imagine it could be like different compositions, but maybe like different songs or whatever performances, but it could be combined and baselined by the prompts or which prompt you use and like what shapes you use, So that's really gives you kind of freedom, because versus using just videos rendered, which, okay, that's great, that works, VJ and using that, but if you really want something to be kind of a thing, I don't know, some abstractions which is not rendered and not looped, but they can evolve over time, and you can basically inject some other elements of the show. So, for example, you can inject close-ups of the singers or video feeds, whatever. So everything could work together, which is, I think, great, and that's why I like using StreamDiffusion and generative like in workflows. And I think that's only the beginning. The thing is, like, the models would be just smarter. The GPUs would be faster. So I believe, like, in a year we can go up to 30 FPS on a single machine, or maybe a couple of machines. It also works, and we can basically use it in real time in real applications. And then the idea is to just think kind of artistically how to use it, because it's just a tool. It's not like a thing that make visuals for you. No, I don't think it's that's it. So I think it's just a tool that could be applied in some cases. In some cases it doesn't work. In some cases it works. And so you just want to kind of find these cases and use them. So I think that's great. So great we have it. Great we have our change and that pivoting point to the AI and models. I think it's really great.
Thank you, Alex. Very cool presentation. From my side, I want to tell that that is a very cool case. I'm really happy about that. Alex was participating 1 year ago the course by Vadim Epstein, and now all this knowledge merged together with his own knowledge, produce a new, very cool results. So I'm very happy as organizer of how to touch that process is going.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really
So
great, because the course actually boosted my kind of knowledge and gave me understanding on what's going on at the back end of the thing. Yes, that was great. Thank you.
I have to tell several words on the end of the stream. We are unexpectedly on time. And maybe one thing I want to add, that in 1 week we finally start a new group of the AI course by Vadim Epstein, who is also our supervisor for the AI department, for AI in visuals. And all the panel today is kind of brief presentation of our vision of practical AI department and how to touch. So basically all artists presented their talks today, gonna do some courses in 2025. But first I want to stop shortly on the Vadim Epstein course, and everyone who want to boost his knowledge in short time is hardly welcome to enroll. That is a very fundamental course, I would tell. It's not really about how to make a fancy image using Midjourney. It's completely opposite. It's how to understand what is under the hood of AI. And in other words, solid base for further exploration, important and actual for understanding and dealing with any specific AI and machine learning tools or methods. And maybe, I don't know, Vadim, do you want to tell something additionally to the course program? But I just show now the syllabus. It's
yeah, thank you so much, Stas, for introducing that course and making a nice tagline for it. Yes, that's probably it. In fact, that the most important thing is that while like shorter workshops let you make specific things with specific methods. That main course is mostly not about specific methods. Of course, it includes some, and also besides like well-known methods, it introduce some less known tricks and approaches, but in general, it's like yes, it's based theory and practical grounds for everyone who is willing not just to make some specific stuff, but to like have a solid start for everything else in the area. So even without like new tricks like agents or LLM-based stuff, it's still valid. It's still on track with the it deals with the like deeper things and quite useful, I believe. As such, that's probably it. Just welcome.
Also, I want to add some small words about while it's not really touch designer oriented course, it's basically about the AI ML methods, but we have a small topic in that course related to touch designer for whom it's interesting about the integration, which we made together with Vadim, and also for people who want to learn more about integration with touch. These topics spoken by Alex, by Simone, and by Tymm might be interesting in the future. It will be not, I suppose, we were still working on methodology and particular details for these smaller workshops, but I hope we will announce them very soon. So for everyone who is want to be updated, we made a short form where you can just sign up for the news about these lessons. So I will post that to the chat a bit later. And if you have some questions, please ask until we're here. I see a question from Marek. Can you share some keywords to search for this? Is that StreamDiffusion model, right?
That's a quite important thing that, yes, what Alex was talking about was mostly based on the original StreamDiffusion methods, but it went quite further from that for StreamDiffusion and added his own twists and tricks, which made it even more efficient than the original StreamDiffusion was, and also much more accessible and easier to set up and to use then again the original StreamDiffusion was. That's like the main point of why we really were happy with Alex having his own workshop, because it's not just about some existing out there method, but it's like real added value. But in general, it was based on StreamDiffusion.
Yeah, so correct. It was based on the component by .simulate.ll. And so I just wanted to, because, you know, like when I started doing that and started installing that, I hit the walls like every week, basically. And so I would like to just share my approach to this and like describe how to install it correctly, what you want, what you need for that. And also like created some additional scripts that actually one button installer, you know, and like maybe guide you through the steps why it's not installing, because that's mostly if you go into Discord channel, all the questions like, okay, I installed but it's not working, why, what's going on, what can I do with that, and all that stuff. So yeah, try to kind of optimize it as well, and I'm trying some different approaches to optimize the pipeline and get more speed out of it. So this was rendered on the 4090, for example. But yeah, kind of trying to get most out of it. And I think it's still work in progress. So it's not kind of finished thing, because we will get 5090 in, I think, end of this month, basically. And I would like to test it on that and see how much performance boost we will gain and what could be used as well. And also, I just stumbled across some papers on steps, so like a different approach to StreamDiffusion, particularly. So it's kind of more optimized way to using steps and step schedule. And so I'd like to kind of check on that and maybe try to implement that. And also, like, the thing is that the original component is still not working with TensorRT and ControlNet. And I'm still working on trying to get it get it kind of done, because I found on GitHub another guy who actually implemented that in the original StreamDiffusion repo, and it's working there. But because the component is quite changed to fit into the Touch Designer pipeline, so you can just, copy and paste the code and it won't work. So I'm also working towards implementing this, and hopefully it will be succeeded. And yeah, it will work finally with TensorRT, and we get like 60 FPS, maybe. We'll see.
Okay, thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
I think we don't have so much question for now, so I think we are quite good done with what we wanted to tell. Thanks everyone who came today to the stream, and thank you for your interest, and let's keep connected.